Oh, live. It's good to be back in the tub. The Sunday Soak, as usual, the Sunday Soak is powered by Goose Island. You can see we're drinking copious amounts of Goose Island. I got Trees here, and subbing in for my sex son, we got King Nam in the back of the tub. Because it's a 108 tourney edition of the Sunday Soak, it's also sponsored by Wings and Rings, 3434 South Halstead. They're a co-host of the 108 tourney. Treasy, good to be back in the tub with you, my friend. It's been a while.
It's nice, man. And I tell you guys, you can't see it, but I got my Guy Fieri swim trunks on. They're high and tight.
They are. I can almost see your plums. I can almost see them.
I got a lot of thigh. I got a lot of thigh out.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. I absolutely love it. Let's start like we always do with the humble brag. And I think as being a 108 tourney edition, the humble brag this time is us almost managing to get Steve-O through the reveal show without passing out. It was pretty close. We almost made it.
I mean, he looked like he was in Requiem for a Dream at the end. He was just kind of nodding a little bit, maybe like Christopher in The Sopranos, you know?
Yeah, exactly. We probably should have had intervention for him after the show, but we didn't end up doing so. But no, great job by Steve-O. And thanks to everyone that's been tuning into all the 108 tourney content. Remember, the first round matchups are going to start Wednesday, March 16th, and the polls start at 8 a.m. And post-game, we'll do post-game shows. So 12-hour polls. Me, Terezi, my sex, will be talking about those right afterwards.
Awesome.
You want to start with some questions? Let's do it. It's an on-questions show, and you provided a lot of them. I didn't get a chance to put them all on the board. But the first one is JF, and JF wants to know, who got the meat sweats the hardest after dinner at Gene and Georgetti's last night, which was actually Friday night? Beef Loaf or Josh Nelson? Now, Treasy, you met us up, so let me get your opinion first.
So, I want to hear from Nam first, get a guess before I tell the actual info on it.
My guess is it was Josh Nelson, and the reason is anytime I've seen him out, not in the summertime, he always has long sleeves on or a sweater or something. And as a big guy, I know that long sleeves instantly leads to sweat. So, steak and long sleeves, Josh Nelson broke the sweat first.
So you guys walked out of dinner at Gene and Georgetti's, and who was sitting in the bar having an old fashioned, but old Treasy?
That's right.
Not going to pass up an old fashioned at Gene and Georgetti's, right? Like, so, you know, we went out after that, and we went over to Simone's in Pilsen, and neither one of you were like glistening with sweat,
right?
But I could tell Josh was not in top form because we were going about 2-for-1 drinks, and he was drinking beer. And we were drinking like hard liquor.
So we were drinking cocktails.
So I think he was probably on the worst end of it.
I think maybe very slightly him, but he didn't seem as bothered. And I'll tell you what I put out there on Twitter afterwards. Due to 108 weight loss, I felt great after the meal. I did not feel stuffed. I didn't feel sleepy. And like a lot of times when I was a little heavier, I did feel stuffed and sleepy after a meal like that. So anyway, would gladly do it again. We had an awesome meal.
I had a 12-ounce filet last night. Woke up in the middle of the night. I was a little sweaty. Just
add that in there.
Losing that weight didn't help me much.
All right, next question is for longtime guy Sleepy Harold. And Sleepy says, what's the appropriate level of loose, a.k.a. buzz, that's acceptable for a child's birthday party? It's a good thing we have King Nam in the tub here because he's an expert on children's birthday parties. Nam, what do you think about this question?
During the day, just a slight buzz. When you get to the nighttime, sundown, full-fledged hammered. It's all right because all the kids, we usually rent a bounce house for Haley. Kids are in the bounce house. They're practically babysitting themselves. On some levels, they're even more responsible than us. So we're good. Once it gets to be sundown, hammered.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I think some of it, too, the calculus of it is like, are you walking distance from the party? Is your wife driving you home from the party? Like, there's varying levels of, if you're walking distance and you're just kind of, you got to push the stroller back, a couple blocks, you could be a little more, juiced up than you would be if you got to, be in the car with your wife for a half hour on the ride home. You don't want to get yourself in the doghouse. So I think it varies, but that was a good response there, Nam. I agree. You can get more fucked up the later it is in the evening. All right, next question is from White Sox Sal. Fuck you, Sal. And the question is, would you consider the Treasy pre-recorded ad reads sexy or creepy? What the fuck was going on there? Why was he whispering? All right, can I start?
Yeah, go ahead.
I consider them sexy And I think our audience did too, because there was a lot of feedback on it. I don't think anyone was creeped out by you.
A lot of people were talking about it.
That's always
good.
They kind of loved it,
I was actually a little creeped out. I enjoyed it because I like creepiness, but
yeah,
I just wasn't expecting the tone and the quietness to the ad read.
So I'll say, I talked about it. It was like I had to do that like kind of right before, and so the sound quality wasn't there that I would have wanted.
Yep.
But I will promise you all that that's the best version you're ever going to get now. Like the next versions will only be worse.
I respect that. All right, next question is from our guy, Bruhan Luke. And Luke says, now number one seed Unprotected Socks has had all charges dropped against him in the great 2020 bot scandal. Who's the most likely to be accused of buying bots in this year's 108 tourney? Tracy, what do you think? Who could potentially be behind bots?
I think someone who would think to ask the question. So I'm going to say Bruhan Luke. I think like maybe he was searching bots, and then he was like, "Oh shit, I should mention that Unprotected Socks had this scandal, so no one thinks about me when I get 5,000 votes in 30 seconds."
Now, what do you think?
I'm going Ken WO.
Wow, I like it.
He puts on this charade that he doesn't care what people think, but deep down, the loss in last year's tournament, it cut him deep. This year, he's planning on buying his way as far as he can get.
I agree. I mean, I think it's whoever has the most to gain is the bot buyer. So I think it's probably some of these podcasts and brands that are on the come a little bit. So I could see, like, Steve-O just did the show with us. It's probably important to Steve-O that he gets there and he has a good showing against Janice. Like, he gets to the end of the bracket. Nick Morawski, another one. Good guys talk back. They're kind of on the upswing. I bet it's important to them that they get a couple rounds in the tournament. So look for those ones. If you see something goofy in the betting odds or in the poll results, those are the ones I keep my eye on.
Oh, boy.
All right, next question is from longtime guy Matt Ramsey. And Matt Ramsey wants to know, now that the 108 weight loss challenge has concluded, which 108er's body would be most delicious in a Sunday bowl of menudo? Teresi, would you like to start?
I mean, it's obviously you. So we've lost a lot of the marbling on My Sock Summer, and now he's a much leaner.
He is, yeah.
But you, on the other hand, have become a grass-fed cow, basically.
My tripe is ripe right now.
While you lost weight, I think you still stayed, just supple enough that you'd be delicious.
What do you think, Dom?
I'm not sure how to follow that. But I'm going to go with My Sock Summer because whenever I'm eating a meal, I like a little beef to it, and he's still got it. Like,
he does.
I don't care if he dropped the 40 pounds. He's still a big guy, and I like quantity.
Yeah, those hindquarters are still thick. I'm not saying. I'm just saying. You see him on that Stairmaster. You know how that shit goes. All right, the next question is from K-Fids. K-Fids wants to know, who was your favorite Saturday morning cartoon character? May I start?
Yeah, go for it.
I was thinking about this, Treasy, because I was trying to think back. I mean, it's been a million years since we watched Saturday morning cartoons. I was a big fan of Smurfs, as you were.
Yeah.
I think Gargamel is probably my favorite. He's like the villain of these tiny, tiny people, and he's always foiled. What do you think about that?
It's kind of amazing that you took that, since you've kind of made your whole look a Gargamel-esque.
How dare you?
I mean, look at you. You're. I mean, I know people like the Gru thing, but that Gru is too new. They couldn't have been. That would be an accident. You've cultivated a Gargamel look,
and I've got enough cats to choose from for Asriel.
Hell yeah.
How about you, Nam?
I wasn't big on the Saturday morning cartoons. Not sure that this was one of them, but if you're asking me to pick a character, Scrooge McDuck. And
oh yeah, I love Scrooge McDuck.
Any Good kind call. Of cartoon conversation, I just absolutely loved DuckTales growing up. And
yeah, me
I
too.
Gotta go with that.
We used to watch it after school.
I mean,
I watch DuckTales after school.
As soon as you say DuckTales, that song just pops.
Yeah, it does. And we should do a sing along. Not today.
Yeah, well, I'll record it though. Perfect audio, I promise.
Not creepy.
Not
sexy.
Creepy. Sexy. I think I got to go with what was his Orko from He-Man?
From He-Man,
like
yeah,
the
that's
floaty
right.
guy.
Yep.
I feel like they didn't do him in the movie because they were like, I don't know how we could do this because it's 1982.
Right.
But yeah,
Orko
was my guy, and I think at one point someone made us like a homemade Orko Christmas ornament for our tree, and I remember it being on the tree forever.
I think that was our Aunt Martha.
I think so. Yeah,
she was pretty handy with that stuff. All right, the next question is from longtime guy Liam Menus, and Liam Menus asks, worst character trait: terrible parallel parker, or not knowing what food to order when it's your turn to order? King Nam, why don't you go first on this?
Food, hands down. I saw this one the other day, and it stuck with me. Parallel parking, I mean, especially now with the kids growing up, nobody knows how to do that going forward. It's a thing of the past, unfortunately. The food, if you don't know what you're going to order, especially if it's a place you've been at, shame on you. Get out.
Tracy,
I mean, it's obviously the food. And the reason I say that is, one, because I'm not a very good parallel parker.
Yeah.
But also, that doesn't really affect anybody else.
Right.
Like, I'm shitty at parallel parking, so it takes me an extra 30, 40 seconds to get in there, right? But, like, sitting there and, like, especially the absolute worst is either being in line behind someone who's looking at the McDonald's menu like it's the first time they've ever fucking seen it in their lives.
Yep.
Or when you're at dinner with a group and like someo's not ready and the waiter's like, I'll come back in 45 minutes.
And you're like, fuck, we didn't get to order. We missed our chance.
We missed our window.
That's the worst. I mean, I got to agree with you guys. And it pains me too because I'm an elite parallel parker. It's one of the few things in life that I do really well, but it's not that useful anymore. Everyone just orders an Uber, or if you're going out somewhere, like there's parking spots, or you go Spot Hero and you park in a parking lot. Right. There's no street parking anymore.
All right. I will say that you're a good parallel parker now. All right. Let me tell you about Beef Loaf when we were young.
Oh, here it is.
So you had your second car.
Yeah, my Caprice.
Was that Caprice?
Oh, baby.
And it was
a great car.
It was an old cop car.
Yeah.
Right? Like some suburban cop car. And it had huge metal bumpers. And like Beef would jam into spots.
That's what it's there for, baby.
And he's like, that's what the bumper's there for. And we're like, not when it's metal. Not when you have metal bumpers.
Fuck you for parking too tight and not letting me in there easy. That's what you get, motherfucker.
That's what elite parkers do.
That's what elite parkers do. We punish the other ones who don't know what they're doing, okay? That's a skill, my friends. All right, the next question is from Mailman Jack. And I think this is actually directed towards Treasy because Treasy's given him a little business over the years about this. Mailman Jack says, if I was your mail carrier and asked to use the bathroom, would you let me? In parentheses, I'm 100% going to poop. Treasy, what do you think? Mailman Jack allowed to come in the house and
in my place?
And deuce it up? Yeah.
Absolutely. That's what that extra bathroom's for. The only thing I ask in that bathroom, which is crocheted on the wall, is to not do cocaine in it.
Can you handle that, Jack? Can you handle not doing cocaine during your workday?
Jack's not going to run a line as he's taking a big shit in my bathroom. I'm fine with it.
That's what's making him have to take
It's got to get the inertia up to squeeze that boy out, man. Nam, what do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Somebody for my job, I'm out on the roads constantly. After a big lunch, I'm always thinking of point A, B, C, wherever I could fit in if something is happening. You got to let the people in. No problem.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you guys too. I mean, you got to have that level of trust built up with the with the service people out there. Otherwise, everything can go wrong.
So I got a buddy in Barren Plains with me, and he works in the park district. And he mentioned one time that he's like, oh, I like that Parks Field House. It's a great place to take a shit. And the one guy that had just joined the band had no idea that this guy worked for the park district. And he was like, why are you going to take shits at the park?
Just a good spot. Not everyone's always trying to play a home game. Sometimes you want to play a road game. There's nothing wrong with that. All right, the next question is from Sock Supporter. It's a very straightforward one. McCutcheon or Schwarber? It's easy.
So I'm going to go Schwarber here. And the reason... Now, I like McCutcheon, and McCutcheon's the better fielder for sure. Oh, almost.
Close, but no
McCutcheon's definitely the better fielder, right? Like, so you're going to lose something in the field. But
sure.
If you look at McCutcheon's splits, where he's been declining and rapidly declining is hitting right-handed pitching, which we already have enough guys that can't hit right-handed pitching. Right. So he doesn't offer as much with the bat as Schwarber would, especially where we're weakest with the bat. So I as much as I love McCutcheon, and him doing Uncle Larry in the dugout would be fucking tremendous, but I'm going to go Schwarber here.
Nice. Now, how about you?
I agree. 7 years ago, loved McCutcheon. Great watching him play. Now I just think more upside with Schwarber, so I feel like that's a better spot in our lineup. It will work out better for us.
I'm going to disagree with you guys. I'm going to go Kutch, and I'm going to go Kutch because there's a little more bat to ball there than there is kind of the three outcomes. And although the defense has declined, this is a former center fielder. So I trust the defense more. Schwarber feels so redundant. Schwarber feels so redundant to the Vaughn Sheets thing anyway. And so I don't know how much more of that you need. Now, I agree Schwarber's more proven than those two guys, but if Andrew Vaughn can't be a better hitter than Kyle Schwarber like this year, next year, well, what the fuck? We're talking bust all of a sudden. So that's my thought.
And, the same thing we've raised with Sheets and Vaughn is like at home, this is probably not a problem.
Right.
But you go to KC or something like that, and it's just like,
you got to play that outfield.
It's going to look like the ball just rolled into the desert.
Absolutely right. All right, the next question is from Joey Burrows, our guy in the ballpark. Joey, how you doing, buddy? He asks, are there more doors or wheels in the world? Now, Nam, you're, I think I would give you the resident expert because I don't know anything about anything. So I'd like to go you to go first.
I've been thinking it over because I saw this a few days ago. A lot of people have been asking.
Yeah.
I'm going doors. I know I saw people talking about like Matchbox cars and all the little wheels.
Yeah.
There's the same thing on all appliances in your house, all kids' toys, doll houses. There's doors everywhere.
Yes.
Every hotel room or hotel has hundreds of doors in it.
Oh, yeah. There's no question.
I have to go doors.
Yeah, I mean, doors seems the right answer. I mean, because there's just not enough space to have a lot of wheels.
Right.
You talk about hotels, you talk about skyscrapers,
you can go
things
up
like that.
Vertical
like there's so much more room for doors.
Yeah.
And then if you include the opening on your pants as a dong door, then we're really going through the sky.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like the technical definition of a door, like is the door over there on my is that a door? The double pull out down there. That's a door. Then the doors clobber the wheels.
Also,
there's not enough wheels on.
Is that a gate or could that be considered a door?
That's right. Once you start getting real technical, it's going to be doors. If Big Wheel decides it wants to redefine how doors are defined, then maybe the wheels come over the top.
Well, you're not even thinking about how many people the band The Doors added to try and sing on their records. So like now we're just Doors is just running away with it.
It is. Yeah, no, it's absolutely true. All right, the next question is from Sean Jankowski, and Sean would like to know, who would you guys want as a Cameo endorsement for the 108 tournament? King, now, since you are an expert in getting absolutely terrific cameos, would you like to go first?
Yeah, I've scrolled Cameo extensively looking for the perfect one. And when I saw Vito from Sopranos, when I saw his few promo cameos, said absolutely. All I did was I sent him a thing that said, endorse me in this White Sox Twitter tournament and be vulgar. And he sent me like a 4-minute video back that we had to cut. Like, it was great. I'm going Vito from Sopranos all day, every day.
Joe Ganiscoli, absolutely.
I mean, it has to be someone on Cameo, right? Because, I would love Guy Fieri to do
for sure,
me, obviously.
Yeah, and I don't know the roster on Cameo that well. So.
I'll tell you someone that's on Cameo that I've considered,
okay,
and may still consider this year, which is Tommy Chong. A Tommy Chong endorsement just seems perfect for me. We look alike. We like some of the same things. It's a good mix.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Yeah, I mean, if I could do someone posthumously, I'd have like Anna Nicole Smith because Sox Twitter is so goddamn horny, and the horny endorsements are where you want to go. I couldn't even tell you who the hot girl is right now. I don't know. Do people love Mila Kunis? Do they? I mean, who is the hot movie star at this point? That's who I would choose because I know how horny our fellow Sox Twitter people
are. They on Cameo? That's
the question. I don't know. So I'm poorly prepared for this. Sean, I will go research it and I will tweet something later.
So I think what you need is like one of the women from The Office or from like Parks and Rec.
Yeah,
I think that would be like right up the alley of this group that watches.
Jenna Fisher is like Pam to do it. Yeah, that's a good idea. Good call. I like that. All right, the next question is from JE23, and JE23 asks, "Who can lift the most out of the 108ers?" I think this is pretty straightforward. It's Nam. If you're only counting me, Teresi, and My Sock Summer, it's My Sock Summer.
Oh, yeah. So My Sock Summer, someone asked us in the DMs about what kind of workout regimens we went with. And so mine's very simple, and I don't really lift weights that much. Beef doesn't lift weights that much. And then My Sock Summer told his workout. I'm amazed he only lost 40 pounds.
He's working hard.
He's and then I do 4,000 ropes or whatever. I don't know if he meant in the shower or like at the gym.
Well, remember he lost a lot of weight one day.
He lost 3 pounds in the shower one day.
The official weigh-in, we do it in the morning, okay, and then we go about our business. And then he tells us that he took it, did everything, and took a shower, and like 11 a.m. he weighed again. He was 3 pounds lighter.
He must be like the dog from Van Wilder.
He's like he's like Peter North on steroids, man. Like he's got some rope action. There's no question. Now, I'm any disagreement with this.
A little bit.
Okay, all right, let's hear it.
Most of he's talked to me about his ropes, and I understand that's hard.
Yeah.
But you're hitting the kettlebells. At least I think you are.
That's true. I do bodyweight planks and a lot of that type of stuff.
Most of his posts are all on the Stairmaster. So
yeah,
I'm going with beef.
No.
All right.
I think my sex number would throw me.
I think you guys should try and lift each other next time we're in the same room.
I've already had 2 hernias in my life. I don't need a third one. All right. All right. The next question is from Jared. Jared says, "Are bigger bases better for Grandal behind the plate, or at this point does he completely give up throwing anywhere?" I love this question. I mean, he's been pretty poor at throwing out base runners. Adding a couple inches to the base runner is going to be a big problem for him, especially because the Sox pitchers don't seem to hold runners very well either. So I think this is kind of like a bigger issue than we're really thinking about when they put the big bases in.
You know what, though? I don't think it is, and here's why. I think that teams are still very pussy about running on the bases, even when a guy is terrible. Because if teams were aggressive about this, when John Lester was pitching for the Cubs and we knew he wasn't going to throw to first, teams would have taken way more advantage of it than they did. But they're still very conservative with everything. Yeah. So I would assume that teams are still not. They're going to steal at the same rate against like Yaz as if Sebi's back there.
Right.
And which doesn't make sense.
Right.
But that's how it'll be because they're going to be conservative. They're not going to put a mid-speed runner to go on Yaz because they're still worried. Yeah. Which is dumb.
Nam, what do you think?
Agreed with Teresi on that. It's terrible, and it might add a little aspect for the base runners, but nobody steals anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got Robert with ungodly speed, and he just stands there.
He barely runs his
Anderson could steal. If he goes even without a green light, he just goes, and he doesn't steal that much either. So it's a kind of a thing of the past.
It sucks, too, because base stealing's fun. I love base stealing.
And, like, like I think as Sox fans, we all experienced it last year, right? Like, so I remember the first time Billy Hamilton got on base, and I turned to Cornsey, and Cornsey doesn't follow every team in the league very closely, so I was like, this dude's absolutely going to steal as many bases as they let him, and he went immediately, and that's an exciting play. Yes. That's something you want to see. Yes. This is not the base thing is not going to increase it. Yaz behind the plate probably not going to increase it much. Which is dumb, and I think it should. But I'll tell you, if one less pitcher gets his ankle stepped on at first base because they made the base just a little bit bigger, it was worth it.
It's good. It's good. It's quality. Yeah, that's totally right. Next question is from Jason Tapper. And Jason wants to know, how many votes does MSS need to get a new router? Treasy, what do you think?
Oh, my God.
It's well within the 108 budget to upgrade My Sox Summer's internet. We just need to do it. We need to get over there and forcibly do it.
So our wives are inside, and I walked in at one point, and they were talking, and I was like, I knew they were talking about his internet situation, and I told them they just got to take the whole house down and rebuild from scratch. Like there's like, I don't know if he's in some kind of bunker or something, like it's not working. And so the other thing is, I think we should crowdsource this because I feel like White Sox Twitter has a lot of tech folks.
They do.
And a lot of
get some helpful tips.
IT specific folks. So like I would love to see some of them come out and show My Sox Summer how to plug his router in and then how to turn it on. Yeah. And then how to get his computer into it. Because he tells us that he's hardwired to the router. I don't believe it.
I don't believe it either.
I mean, he might be, but he's still using Wi-Fi. Like
Now, what do you think?
I think the question was how many votes? Get one vote. If he gets one vote, he needs a new router. It's terrible. You guys had a big show the other day. You could see the frustration on his face.
So upset.
He was so angry. Do something about it. Take it in your own hands. Get new internet service.
That's my brother. I felt so bad for him to do out there.
We've all had that.
We've all had it.
Yes. And it's so frustrating because there's nothing you can do.
No.
There's like you could keep restarting and kind of doing all these things, and then but also you're jumping back in the conversation mid-conversation. It's really hard to do something like.
And he did good with that. Like he was able to bob and weave into the.
I mean, he's a machine. Like he's a content machine. So like he did fine with it, but like I could tell it was super frustrating.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Next question is from SPF, and SPF says, name 3 108 tourney contestants who have the most to lose. Could it be a veteran 108er or a first timer? So most to lose in the tournament potentially. Well, let's brainstorm 3.
So I mean, I think you mentioned one earlier, and I think it is top of the list, which is Steve-O.
Yeah.
Steve-O hosted the show. We were recently on his show. Someone was giving him inside tips.
I don't know who it was.
And so, like, he's got a lot vested in this. So, like, you can't get knocked out in the first round, Steve-O. That's what I'm saying here.
Yeah, totally agree. Now, what do you think?
I got to jump back on Ken W.O. He had a bracket region named after him last year, if I'm not wrong.
He was out in the first round.
And he was out in the first round. And for somebody that thinks they're the world's biggest heel, if he goes out again, he just needs to hang it up. Retire your Twitter and crawl in a hole and be gone forever.
That's I don't disagree there. I mean, I think the person that has the most to lose is the person who has the biggest persona that's in the entire tournament, and that's Layla Rahimi.
Okay.
We're all on White Sox Twitter. We're hip to that bullshit pizza picture.
That's true.
We're hip to the Cease thing. Now the rest of the kind of the media, they don't know about all these granular White Sox things, but you voters do. And so if round 2 comes up and my Sox number gets past Layla, I mean, I think that's a deal right there. I mean, that's immediate 108 promotion to 670 the score. Don't you think, Teresa?
Yeah,
it's gotta be, right? It's obvious.
We take over the overnight spot.
That's right. That's right. The grabber spot.
Yeah. Purdy still be on. He'll be on with us. Yeah. He fits perfect with the 108.
That's right. All right. The next question is from Dog. And Dog wants to know, how come no K-Fids in the 108 tourney? Teresa, you want to hit this one?
Yeah, so, I mean, I love K-Fids, obviously.
We all do.
And Yum.
Like, I love Yumper too, yes.
But you guys saw, even when we had a spot open up, there were 16 people that were put in there. I had a list of 10 more.
Yeah.
They included K-Fids and Yum. But the problem is that they're both Cubs fans.
They're Cubs fans.
And that hurts it. And that's why I said, if Amy was willing to become a Sox fan, it could open up a spot for a Cubs fan.
But
I do want to address something else. K-Fids, I didn't realize you were only watching the Star Wars breakdowns to get into the tournament. I apologize that you had to sit through that. I mean, it must have been fucking horrible for you. So I apologize deep from the bottom of my heart that I wasted all your time.
I mean, I think that pretty much sums it up. We got much love, and we got much love for the other side of the Cubs fan group. There's no hate there, but this is a White Sox Twitter tournament.
I know it's tough to have. It would have been tough to say, let's take this person out to put in someone who's a Cubs fan,
right?
Even though they participate in White Sox Twitter,
correct?
And we love the participation, and it's always great. And he's a guy with an inside track on Chris Bryant too, and other players, So like, I think he's a great piece of White Sox Twitter.
And he's partnered with our one of our best friends, Aloha Mr. Hand, and we love Aloha Mr. Hand. But put your support behind Mr. Hand,
and Father Zoe, and Justin. Like there's not so much Justin in the first round.
No, that's correct.
But after that, But we'll see. But yeah, so like I mean, I love K-Fitz, obviously, and we've definitely had beers with him and Yump, and like love those guys. So no disrespect, but it's tough to find spots for Cubs fans in such a contentious tournament.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I put the tweet out there before. I follow back 4,000 people. The 108 account follows back 10,000 people. We got to select 128. It's really fucking hard to get the field. If you feel slighted that you're out, I mean, I apologize. There's so many accounts that I love that I could make probably another entire tournament right side by it. And the reason why we don't make the tournament so much bigger is like, Jesus, that would be so many more weeks of us having to do stuff. Like, so that I think the size it's at right now is reasonable.
There was a point when we were doing the Battle Royale that I thought about making it 32 people. Yeah. That's how many people I could have put in.
For people who are extra deserving.
Yeah.
And people who got clobbered in that first round, like who didn't even come close to winning their group of 4. I thought, you were right on my list of like you're almost in this tournament. Like
still awesome.
Yes,
and that's
like Tommy Barbie and Leonard and Millennial Sox and a bunch of them are right there on the cusp of this thing. Like
absolutely.
All right. So the last question comes from Juan Uribe's Cup, and he's always providing the last question. I love you, Billy, despite what you may think. Why did you kick Juan Uribe's Cup in the balls? I think that towards me, but I'm going to let you go first.
But I will say that I take some responsibility for this.
Okay.
And you called it out, actually, right before the tournament.
Yeah.
Was I did not look at the final bracket. And so
White Sox Sal knew you did.
He knew I didn't. And
you did.
There were two people that I was actually surprised that weren't in.
Yeah.
Now, Gas Money Bob, I love.
Yeah.
But like, he could always just turn on the Big Cat, retweet me, and that's not that fun. Yeah. And it's the same reason that Dave's not in the tournament anymore.
Right.
Yeah, but so I mean, like that's that. But like the two guys that I thought had gotten pushed back into the tournament were Matt Crawford and Billy.
Yeah.
And then like they weren't in it, and I was like, I probably should have looked at that. So I'm going to take some of the responsibility on this. But
I like that you bring up those two names because they're probably in my top 20 like favorite content.
Yeah.
But the reason why they aren't in, and with Matt Crawford, he took like 3 months off. I didn't know exactly when he was coming back. We're trying to finalize this bracket weeks before you actually see it because we have a lot of shit going on in the background. And Billy, I made a grandstanding bit about how losing your account was a deal or whatever to put everyone on their toes. So I had to follow through on it. I love Billy's stuff.
That said, much like in Star Wars, no one's ever really gone. And so if you want Billy in, you have the opportunity today to vote for him because he's going in that round of 4 right now. And last I looked, he was losing to Gas Money Bob. So if you want Billy in, go out there and vote for him. You can absolutely get him into the tournament.
Now, is Billy going to kill me if he doesn't get in the tournament?
Probably. And I love you too, Billy, but last I checked, you're getting destroyed by Gas Money Bob. You got no chance. Sorry.
Oh, man.
Show Peen.
Sorry,
you got to show Peen. It's your time. Show it, man.
Although then he'll be on his 9th account.
That's okay. We'll put him in posthumously. We'll put him in as a dead account, but if he shows Peen and wins this thing.
I feel that.
Yes.
I feel that, Peen.
That's it. Those are our questions for the show. Thanks so much. We love all of you. Go vote in the 108 tourney this coming week. The polls start on March 16th. That's a Wednesday. And we're going to go through March 30th. It would be the night before opening day. It's not now, but it is a 2-week tournament. So go check in, hit fromthe108.com, go at fromthe108 for the polls on Twitter. Love you guys.
Love you guys. And feel free to get a glimpse of my creamy thighs.
Oh, baby, your peach is going to be right in the shot. There it is. Oh.